Hey, this is Rock here. I wanted to talk about the release move in the flying wings golf swing theory to refresh everyone's memory. The flying wings golf swing theory is when you, on the backswing, you allow your wings to, to fly apart or flap apart, and then on the downswing, they flap together. All right. So fly apart, flap together. All right. That's the flying wings golf swing theory. So I want to talk about the release move in the flying wings golf swing theory. So the release, to define it, would be, when the club is parallel to the ground, pre-impact, you hit the ball, and then post-impact, okay? So when the club's parallel to the ground post-impact, to club parallel to the ground pre-impact, that's the release move. So how you doing the release move in the flying wings, I'm going to demonstrate it with my hands split apart, so it's really clear, what the left hand is doing and what the right hand's doing. So you get into this position, last parallel pre-impact. Your body should be a little bit open, so it should be like this. This would be square, this would be closed. Okay, so you get in here, club parallel to ground pre-impact, body's open, and then when you come through, the butt of the club, this is the butt of the club, this end goes towards the left hip. So towards right here, towards the left hip. So this is the left hip, that's the right hip. Go towards the left hip. So you come through, go towards the left hip, continue to turn all the way through. So your body, you're at last parallel, your body's open, your body continues to open, the butt of the club's going towards the left hip, comes through, and then you finish with your palm of your hand facing the target. So from this view, it's club parallel to the ground, pre-impact, the butt of the club, got my hips open, pelvis open, and then I release, butt of the club towards the hip, continue to turn, finish with my palm facing the target. So that's the release move. So let's see, from this view, so it's totally clear, last parallel pre-impact, body's open, that's open, that'd be square, that's closed, body's open, you're here, come through, continue to turn your body, the butt of the club's going towards your left hip, release through, all the way through, and then come through, palm of the hands facing the target. So that's the flying wings release position. Now I want to talk a little bit about what it's not. So what it's not is getting in here and coming in an impact and allowing the butt end of the club to face away from the target. That's not it. That's called a crossover release. You don't want that for the flying wings golf swing theory. The reason why is when you get down in impact, if your body stalls out, stops rotating, let's say it stops when you're a little bit open, well, as soon as it stops, then you got to hit the ball. So you're in here, and the only way to hit the ball is you're going to have to, roll your hands over like this. You're going to have to, go like this and come down steep on it to hit it. That's not what we want for the flying wings golf swing theory. I normally don't like to explain what you don't want, but I want to make it totally clear what this is and what it isn't. So again, flying wings golf swing theory, hip, pelvis is open. I'm continuing to rotate body, so it's open when I'm in impact. And pelvis is open. My shoulders are open. Everything's open, except for the club face, which is pointing right at the target, directly at the target, okay? So that's the key that you want. So what you're going to find with this is, it's going to be a beautiful thing when you start understanding that, when you come in, that, your club has an arc that it travels on, and you're basically going to keep the club perpendicular to the arc. So if the arc is like this, your club is like that at 90-degree angle, perpendicular, and it's going to remain there. So it's very comforting to know that, when you're releasing, you're causing minimal face manipulation, face rotation. Like in the crossover release, you go from here to there. So the face now is pointing at the sky, and here it's pointing at the ground. That's a big change in the face. It requires tremendous timing. There's great players that do it, and they hit a lot of balls, and they're able to time it out and do it beautifully, like Phil Mickelson, for example. But in the flying wings, you're here, and you're turning. The face is always, it's staying, always perpendicular to the arc of the club head, and it's just real stable. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is, all right, we talked about the release position, which is last parallel pre-impact to last parallel post-impact. Well, now how do I get into that position? All right, so now I'm flying my wings apart. I'm okay with this elbow getting way away from the body, and you'll find out here in a second why I believe that is fine, and I know it's fine for the flying wings golf swing theory. The other thing I want you to call attention to is the separation here from the side of the body to the elbow. There's a lot of stuff out there that says, keep the elbow in tight, put a glove under your armpit and hold that there for the whole swing. And no, that's not what this is. The flying wings golf swing theory is, get up here, let your armpit air out. I don't care how much it airs out. It can air out. It's, the longer it airs out, the better in my mind. So you get up here, you're airing out your armpit as best that you can. You're up here, and then, you're in the top of the backswing position. All right. So then what? You're here. So the first thing that you're going to do is you just slide down the wall a little bit. As you're sliding down the wall, the hands go this way. They go in this direction. I call it hands over the top. So you're not changing your shoulder rotation, your hip rotation, where it is at all. You're just simply getting a separation of your left arm, here, your bicep, your tricep. You're getting some separation off the chest. Your hands are moving over the top. Your right elbow's moving towards the target line. This would be the target line. All right. So everything's moving towards the target line. You're in position. Now you got separation. You have room. So then what happens is you simply turn. You turn through the ball. You turn, and now you're in the last parallel pre-impact, okay? Then you continue to release like we described all the way through to the finish, all right? So there's a lot of stuff out there that says, you don't want over the top. And what over the top in that sense would mean would be you got your shoulders like this. And if you go over the top with, I call it a rot, right shoulder over the top, or rot, not hot, rot. Rot would be you go like this and dive your right shoulder, and you can see the club is coming in steep. We don't want that, all right? We want The arms relaxed. Free. Fly. Free arms, okay? Air your armpit out. Air it out. I don't care how much. You can do it John Daly style. You can get the club, on your neck, right behind your head. Air it out as much as you want. That's fine with me. I've tried it. It works beautiful. So, air it out. Get hands over the top. Hands over the top. Lateral. Slide down the wall. And then now you get in. You're in a perfect position to strike the ball. So you can say, you can think of it as when you get here that you're pulling the butt of the club into your hip as you rotate. Okay, rotate like that. You could think of it as you're rotating, and then your right arm extends and pounds it. Sometimes I think about the right hand doing it, sometimes the left hand doing it. I found that I don't like thinking about both hands doing it. It's just too much for your brain can't process that, I don't think, fast enough, where you're trying to pull the butt in and push, with the right. So other people may find differently. They may like to do both at the same time, but for me, I like thinking about one arm or the other doing the work. So that's the release position. So let's talk about, why are we doing this? Why are we getting these hands going over the top? All right. The reason is if you go back and you do the lateral slide and you start turning, the tendency is you're going to get stuck. It's called stuck when your arms are stuck to your body. So from here you turn, but you're coming away from the inside, and you're just going to have to flip at it, or you can get stuck and try to tomahawk it, over the top. I wouldn't recommend either of those. I mean, you can do it. It's fun to play around with, but I wouldn't make that your permanent golf swing. But so with the hands over the top, we're separating, sliding the right butt cheek down the wall, separating, turning, releasing, and through to the finish. All right. So this is the other thing that I've seen a lot of people do. They get up to the top. They want to flatten the shaft, and they take their whole upper body and do something like that. And again, you're stuck. You gotta stall out your body and try to turn and hit it. Makes things real difficult. You might get a nice look for an instant in time where you do this move and the shaft is flattened out, but you got nothing. I mean, you got no power. You got to look for one instant in time, but you got nothing. You don't have the power. With the flying wings, my arms are nice and relaxed. They're flying apart. I get them even further apart from my body to make sure that I won't get stuck. And then I turn, and then I can just aggressively release the club. So you see my body is turning. All right, so produces tremendous power doing it. So, in practice when I'm swinging or, working with a friend, on this, what I'm looking for is when you get to the top of the backswing, I'm looking, how much separation is there from the right elbow to the hip. You know, I want maximum separation. I want big wide arc. So from this view, I want the elbow far apart from here to here, as far as I can get it. All right. The lateral slide is, I get to the top here. This right butt cheek, it just slides without changing how far closed my hips are, my pelvis is. Just slide down the wall. It's only maybe a couple inches. And while I'm doing that, while I'm sliding down the wall, my hands are going over the top. And then I turn. My right elbow gets into the side of my body. And I continue to turn and release the club all the way through to the finish. All right. So that's the Flying Wings golf swing theory release position. Really appreciate everyone's input on it. Having a lot of success with it. I played this weekend 2 rounds and just hit it really great. I worked with a couple friends. They were really liking it, and I hope this helps people and that you like it too. There's a lot of ways to swing a club. Flying Wings golf swing theory is one way. You know, find one that you like and works well for you. Everyone's different, so you know, enjoy and wish you well. Thanks so much. Bye.